This is the current stock market update for SoundHound AI, stock ticker SOUN. Before we begin with today's stock market analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. SoundHound shares have been under a fair amount of selling pressure recently. And on this channel, what we typically do is we look in the opposite direction of the hype. So for example, while the other channels are focusing on maybe $50 or $100 per share, we tend to look in the other direction. And in this case, it is looking as though we're about to see a fairly major break of support relatively soon. And that's probably confusing for some stock traders because SoundHound actually does have some fairly impressive underlying fundamentals. Of course, I would still refer to this as a meme stock because it is heavily influenced by social media trading activity. But in this video, what we're going to do is look at the question of why SoundHound AI stock isn't taking off despite doubling its revenue last year. SoundHound AI is a voice artificial intelligence company that looks to help its customers add efficiency to their day-to-day operations. It has been growing its customer base via acquisitions and has enabled the business to become more diversified in the process. Investors may be surprised to learn, however, that despite doubling its sales in 2025, this AI stock has been struggling badly. As I said, we're really coming into close contact with that $6.50 level. At around $3.4 billion, its market cap is a fraction of what it was in the past, and the stock is down 64% from the 52-week high of $22.17. So in this video, we're going to look at some of the reasons there seems to be no shortage of bearish investors when it comes to SoundHound AI stock. SoundHound's growth rate has been slowing down. Last month, SoundHound reported its fourth quarter results for 2025, which showed strong top-line growth of nearly 60%, as revenue came in at just over $55 million for the last 3 months of the year in 2025. The company's full-year revenue of nearly $169 million roughly doubled the roughly $85 million that SoundHound reported in 2024. But in SoundHound's case, its growth has actually been slowing down in recent quarters, and we can see that in the price chart here. So previously, there was a fairly sharp acceleration in the company's revenue growth rate. This was roughly present from around the middle of 2023 to close to the middle of 2025. And that is really when share prices also were starting to take off in several bullish waves. As a result, this revenue quarterly year-over-year growth rate paints a very different story, as we can see. One of a brief spike followed by a sharp slowdown. And while growth rates near 60% are very impressive, it's important to understand why SoundHound has done well. The growth has been primarily due to acquisitions, which can make it difficult to determine just how well the business is doing organically. While acquisitions can provide a top-line boost for a company, that type of growth can be short-lived if the entire entity isn't growing organically at the same time. As impressive as SoundHound's growth rate may seem, there are still sizable problems with SoundHound's business. Last year, the company incurred an operating loss of $23.3 million, which would have been significantly worse if not for a favorable $163 million change in the fair value of contingent acquisition liabilities. SoundHound also used up nearly $99 million just from its day-to-day operating activities. For these reasons, the company's lack of profitability, ongoing cash burn, and pursuit of acquisitions make this a risky stock to own. As investors may experience a lot of dilution in the future, this is a very real possibility. Year to date, the stock is down by about 20%, and it wouldn't be surprising to see SoundHound go even lower because while its growth rate may seem impressive, that alone does not tell the entire story.